Welcome to round 4 of the ESR Academy series from Suzuka East. I think this is the shortest track we have on the calendar. So I'm pretty sure Brands Hatch was longer than this, but maybe Brands Hatch, I don't know. With me on commentary is ESR Academy coach Paul Riccobene.
Heyo, what's up, Paul?
And of course, a former Wednesday series champion in his own right.
That feels like a long time ago from the way I've been driving.
It's only 2 seasons ago.
Still too long. And I apologize off the bat for the terrible sound quality of my microphone.
Indeed, Paul has seemingly forgotten how to use a microphone, and I'm at a loss to explain it.
I got cans and strings everywhere. I don't know what is happening.
Alright, so we're at Suzuka East, which is, as stated, really short. Not a lot of overtaking opportunities because there's a whopping 1 braking zone in the entire lap. So that obviously creates certain difficulties with overtaking. So we're going to see how the Academy guys and girls, girl, I think we only have one, handle the somewhat follow the leader aspects of this track and if they can indeed make their way through the grid. We got some new people on the grid. Jack Simpson making his debut, although he forgot the S in his name when he made his race room account, so he is Jack Simpon for this race. And also joining the grid is AJ Jesse. I've not been corrected on saying his name like that, so I'm assuming that's how it is said. Liam Curtin, and finally, Demetrius Simeonitis. So 4 newcomers to the grid here today. And there is one of them, Liam Curtin.
Should be exciting to see a few new cars driving around the track with the group today.
Can't remember if Liam was on our video at Hockenheim. He was there, but unfortunately he had ping issues that eventually kept him from being able to compete in the race. Which is a bit weird, because I thought Ireland had good internet, but apparently I was misinformed on that.
Well, I imagine, every place is going to have good and bad, right? Not the entire Ireland can't be known for amazing internet.
Yeah, but smaller countries, Ireland, keep in mind, I live in Canada, everything's a small country, generally have relatively, consistent internet across the board, because they don't have the same geographical challenges that, say, America, or Canada, or Russia, or even, a China. Australia was another good one. Just don't generally really have. So I was a little bit surprised that his internet was struggling, and it was, but it was actually pretty good here at Suzuka, so hopefully it was a one-time deal, and we're back on track with him now, because he seems like a promising driver.
Hey, he looks pretty decent out there. Excited to see what he can do.
So what are you expecting from this heavily sprint track with very minimal braking points?
I gotta be honest with you, I have never driven this course before, so I'm learning it as I'm watching them drive right now. It looks like, going into turn 1, I could see some people trying to make a move. That double braking zone, that could be fun. And then, I guess, what do you have? We're going into this back section right here before this turnaround. This where you're thinking they're going to make the second? Is it a move?
Yeah, I think your best bets are last turn and first turn. They're probably the best bets. You can make moves in the S's, but it's kind of hard to safely navigate and overtake in the S's. But yeah, we'll see if anyone manages.
I mean, I've driven the full course, so I know the S's, and unless somebody makes a mistake and opens the door for you, it's really tough to do a clean pass in there.
So right now in qualifying, as we're nearing the end of it, we have Jack Simpon on pole from Zach Hemstrom, Douglas DeGroat, Rochelle Guerin, Daniel Hernandez, Liam Curtin, James Butler, Dixon Hurst, Tobias Howard, and AJ Jesse. John Peach at this point is having some technical difficulties that will unfortunately not be resolved. He is here, but not posting a lap time. Yuri Nikolai and Demetrius Simeonitis just snuck in really, really late, so they didn't get to post a lap time. And I believe Javier Perez Torres sadly had a pretty good lap time up. Then his computer crashed. He made it back, so he'll be in the race, but starting down the grid. There is your top 10 for the upcoming race.
Oh, look at that. Jack ahead of Zach. And Rochelle. You can throw some laps down, huh?
Jack is definitely quite quick. He was in the ACC race, finished in 6th place. Honestly, didn't expect him to even qualify for the Academy, but he went out and posted the race room time. And it seems like he's a little bit slower in race room than he is in ACC, which is not the first time we've had that happen. John Peach is kind of the weird guy who's notably quicker in ACC than he is in race room. So it's a bit weird as to which sims suit different drivers, because you would think that ACC being the more in-depth game, you would just generally be slower.
Yeah, I've only had an hour or two in ACC, and I know I was way off the pace in that game.
I know that I am not very fast in it. Not very fast in race room though either, so take that for what you will. Grid is forming up. You can see Yori and Javi. Javi in the green car, Yori in the blue car at the back. They didn't get to post a lap time. And we're just waiting on, I think, Zach Kempstrom. Oh, wait, no. There's a gap between Toby Howard and Javi. I think that's John Peach's grid spots. I think that will unfortunately just remain vacant.
That's a bummer. So he's out for all 3 races?
He is out for all 3 races. His computer eventually lost connection. But here you can see John Peach listed in 14th place there. He is in the pit lane, and he stayed there for a while, but whatever. He could not resolve his problems. So we are with Rochelle Guerin, Demetrius Simonides getting hit in the background. What happened there was Demetrius was fiddling with his wheel. He had just put a new wheel in, and just didn't get off the line. Like, full stop.
Yeah, that definitely not the best technique.
So, got rear-ended by Yori Nikolai, which I cannot fault Yori for. When the car ahead of you literally doesn't move, I think it's pretty hard to avoid a contact.
Come on, we know Yuri loves contact. He's just getting it out of the way as early as possible.
All right, so we're off to start. Hemstrom got the better of Simpson on the start because Simpson was trying to clutch start, not realizing that race room doesn't have a jump start feature. Douglas DeGroat, Rochelle Guerin, Daniel Hernandez, James Butler, Liam Curtin, who had a bit of an off there. I think he had a contact with Daniel Hernandez. Nothing too major. Just some banging doors. Probably wasn't in anyone's best interest to really do it. Then it is Dixon Hurst and Toby Howard, AJ Jesse rounding off the top 10. Douglas losing a spot there to Rochelle. He got a bad run into the last turn and was easy pickings on the straightaway.
Somebody in the background back there was taking a little drive through the grass.
I believe that might have been AJ Jesse. So the group relegated to 4th place. Douglas has been really improving lately. He showed great pace at Hockenheim. He showed great pace in qualifying here as well. Of course, he was a race winner at Zandvoort. So he's been really coming along nicely. Just kind of needs to find that that happy edge without pushing the edge, if that makes any sense.
It does, and it's a very difficult thing to find.
Because he definitely is guilty a little bit. Daniel Hernandez has kind of like a similar thing. The guy back in 5th place there. They both have that point where they need to figure out where their edge is and not go beyond it, because they tend to just overdrive into mistakes. And if they can cure that, I think they actually have a quite decent pace.
Well, that's why they're here learning.
Rochelle getting challenged by Douglas, but again, don't think there's a lot of overtaking opportunity here through the S's without a mistake from the car ahead.
Yeah, it's most likely it's not going to happen, at least not cleanly.
Indeed. I'm pretty sure we will at some point see it happen, so it's possible. Just like anything, there is no such thing as a corner that you cannot overtake at, but there's levels of probability.
Yeah, I mean, my approach would not be to try and pass there, but make sure I'm lined up in case there's a mistake and there's an opening.
Exactly. I think that would also be my tactic for the matter. And also, to a degree, you also have to know who you're fighting with. If it's a driver who you could force into overdriving into a mistake, maybe showing the nose is a good idea, because they'll overcorrect and maybe have problems. But you gotta know your opponent. Douglas making a mistake there. He is off the track. And we said that there were no overtakes in the S's. We were just proven wrong.
Well, I don't know if I would have count that as an overtake, but I'll go with it.
Jack is yet to find his way around Zach. These two are very close in pace, I think. Just maybe tenths, maybe a tenth or two separating them in terms of pace. Liam Curtin to 6th place. He is on the tail of the very difficult to overtake James Boutelier.
So I don't think these BMWs are going to get enough of a draft coming down the straightaway, are they?
I mean, I think there's definitely a chance to make a move in the first turn. By the way, Liam Curtin's going for it. And I think he might have it, although this is going to turn into the inside line here for Butler.
I wonder if he left room for Butler with that camera angle. Couldn't tell.
Could not tell. I would say that was a good securing of the line, though. Butler seems to still be there. Didn't no major contact or anything. So
no, it appeared to be good driving on both of the
I would say.
and Butler's suffering from that 100 kilograms of ballast, correct?
Correct. We might rethink that for the loop back. Butler has not been as fast as we kind of expected, so maybe the 100 kilos needs to be removed from him to let him show. Which is weird because he's actually been showing some of his best results in the main series lately. So he's been.
Well, you could see Liam pulled about a car and a half length on him down the straight, where right now Simpson did not make any ground up on Hemstrom. So that ballast certainly hurt there.
Certainly. Looks like Simpson has taken the lead from Zach Hemstrom. Like we cut away just before. Oh, Demetrius Simeonitis out of the race. Not honestly sure what happened there, actually. Just he's down. Toby Howard having a bit of a miserable day, but I believe he is still running, so hopefully he can do something.
Toby.
Hemstrom, of course. Interesting spot here for Hemstrom. I mean, do you force something for the lead? Because he is the championship leader. His nearest championship rival is down in 7th place, so right now 2nd is a pretty good haul of Delta points for him.
It's a good haul, but he's a racer. He wants 1st place, and there's 9 minutes left. He's certainly going to try something.
Oh no, I'm not saying lean back or anything like that. You want the win. You're gonna want to stay close enough to Simpson that if he makes a mistake, you're right there to capitalize on it. I'm just thinking, don't need to force anything on a track that has such a limited actual overtaking potential.
No, I wouldn't try and force anything. I would certainly play with him a little bit, though. Like you said earlier, my nose would kind of pop in and out of a few locations just to sort of see how he reacts, for sure.
Here's Hernandez running in 4th place. I want to say this is the highest he might be on for a career best finish here in the Academy with that 4th place finish.
That's nice.
At this point, we've lost John Peacher from the server. You can see we're down to 13 cars. So Hemstrom versus Simpson for the lead. Guerin in 3rd, battling with Hernandez. Liam Curtin still in the picture there. And a little bit further back. Oh no, Hemstrom off the track. Hemstrom went for, I don't know if he went for the outside or maybe got a run on Simpson he wasn't really expecting. That's going to let Guerin through and Hernandez through.
It looked like Simpson moved over a little bit in the braking zone to that, and I think it might have just spooked Hemstrom a little bit.
Might have. So he rejoins behind Liam Curtin in 5th place. Here is the newcomer AJ Jesse, who is on the tail of Douglas DeGroat. One would think DeGroat should be able to pull a gap on him. He was much faster in qualifying, and it doesn't look like his off damaged the car in any way. So we'll see what Douglas can do in a comeback drive here. Zach Hemstrom will be looking to try to improve on this position. We'll see what he can do with Liam Curtin. We've not really seen any weaknesses in Liam's game, so we'll see what Hemstrom can find.
Well, I've only seen 9 laps so far, but he does look good. Like you say, it's just so limited in your opportunities at this place.
Yeah, this was definitely a track that I thought was going to absolutely challenge the racers in terms of patience, because it's just not much. I mean, when you literally only brake once on a lap, maybe twice, the last turn you might need to brake if you carry a little bit too much speed. But like when there's only one real braking spot on the track, I mean, there's not a lot of overtaking to be had. So far, we've seen very little in the way of carnage, which is good.
That's very good to see.
All right, Hemstrom looking to go down the inside here to turn 1. Is he going to go for it? Is he going to back out? He's going to go for it. And I think he's going to get it. Although Curtin did do a good job against Butler in this turn. We'll see if he can do it again.
Yeah, he has a great line through there. That was nice.
Yeah. And a nice defense by Liam Curtin. Good try on the attack by Zach Hemstrom. Totally the right thing to do. But Liam Curtin stays calm and delivers.
Yeah, that was very impressive, Liam.
And a man who has no cares in the world right now, Jack Simpson, way out in front. So we'll see what can happen here.
I'm assuming he's not 19 seconds ahead of Michelle, or
I suspect not. The timing is still messed up. I have heard word that we might see that fixed in the upcoming patch. All right, so this time it's going to be Curtin on the inside of turn 1. He's gone defensive. Hemstrom's going to go try around the outside. Nothing really doing there. And Curtin will maintain the spot. So good defense again by Liam Curtin. Has made a mistake, though, and this has allowed Hemstrom to try to make an issue of it in the S's. I just don't know if he can get around here. Douglas DeGroat.
Ooh, that was a nice save, because that could have gotten ugly.
Looks like we've lost Javier Perez Torres at this point. I knew it happened. He also had some technical issues, which is a big boost for Zach Hemstrom, having the number 2 man in the championship out of the race.
That's a bummer for Javi.
Indeed. So we'll see if Hemstrom can get through on Liam Curtin. They are losing ground to Daniel Hernandez, so a man who's a big fan of this fight right now is Hernandez, and the guy behind, James Butler. Zach Hemstrom down the inside. Can he get it done this time? I think he will. It looks like Curtin got firmly put behind, and indeed he did. So third time is the charm through the first turn for Zach Hemstrom.
Yeah, it looks like he used a pretty good amount of track in there. I don't think he left Liam much space.
Whoa, Yori Nikolai spinning off the track.
Who was at fault there, do you know?
I don't know. Was not reported to the stewards, so was not investigated. So it looked like, your options are twofold. Basically, either Yori lost it on his own, or Douglas gave him a tap in the rear. So can Curtin make a comeback against Hemstrom? I would think not, because I honestly think Hemstrom and Simpson are kind of in a league of their own here today. They're definitely the 2 fastest cars, but that doesn't mean you don't try.
You don't try, and Hemstrom's gone off track twice now, I think?
I think only once. I think only the one time. So it is Simpson from Guerin, Hernandez, Hemstrom, Curtin, Butler, Hurst. By the way, Dixon Hurst finally on the Academy track. Good for him. Douglas DeGroat, Yori Nikolai, and AJ Jesse are the 10 cars still running. We have lost Toby Howard, Demetrius Simeonitis, Javier Perez Torres, and John Picha was unable to start the race. And I would say Hemstrom is now kind of put to bed any hopes that Curtin had of getting back past him, unless Zach makes a large mistake.
I have to run. I hear a dog barking. I'll be back in 10 seconds.
Okay. So it is still Simpson leading the way, lap 14. And trailed by Guerin and Hernandez. Zach Hemstrom is probably the danger man. Not to the race winner, but to the man who, on a pace level, is the most out of position. We'll see if he can catch Hernandez and Guerin. The other danger man might be Douglas DeGroat, who is, I imagine, closing the ground to Dixon Hurst, who is running in 7th place. We may see a showdown between those two before long, but we are down to a little under 2 minutes to go, so probably 2 or 3 laps remaining in this race. This lap, of course, a 54 to 56 second lap at decent pace.
Did I miss anything?
Sir, this is Suzuka East. You could probably go away for a long time and not miss anything.
That's good to know, because I'll have to go away in a few minutes once again. Nothing like having some dogs.
Zach Hemstrom is closing on Daniel Hernandez, though. Hernandez proved very difficult, according to some drivers, to overtake, and Douglas DeGroat is up on the tail of the Red Bull car of Dixon Hurst, the Three Amigo.
Difficult in the sense that he was unpredictable, or just a very good defensive driver?
Mostly just very good defensively. I think I did give him one citation for what I kind of considered a little bit straying into that gray area of blocking. I don't think it was intentional. I think it's just one of those cases of, like many Academy drivers, he needs to pick up his awareness just a tad, and didn't really notice that there was a car there, sort of thing.
It happens.
Yeah, it's an Academy series. We're working on perfecting some skills that, to be honest, some drivers find very difficult to pick up. Zach Hemstrom looking to get past Daniel Hernandez, so we're getting to see Daniel Hernandez defend right now. Liam Curtin now right on the back of this. So Hernandez is not only in danger of losing third place, but, I mean, if he gets forced out a little bit wide by Hemstrom, I'm sure Curtin will go for it. Coming up to the last turn, and we're going to have one more lap, and there's a lap car of AJ Jesse up ahead, the white and yellow car, so that could complicate things further. As, of course, this is a difficult to overtake racetrack, and therefore it's also kind of a difficult to get blue flags achieved racetrack without a little bit more deliberate than we normally expect.
Oh no!
No!
Contact there.
Douglas took out Dixon Hurst. Not sure if he could have done anything about that. I think Dixon got a bad run through the final corner, and just probably, I don't know. I probably describe it as a racing incident. Yuri Nikolai picks up 8th place over Dixon Hurst as well.
Okay.
And we went away from the Hernandez-Hemstrom battle. There we go! Hemstrom getting physical in the S's. Gets the job done. Heading into the final corner. Liam Curtin wasn't able to sneak through, but he does have the straightaway maybe to do something. He is close enough that if he gets a good run, but he will not. And we'll take a 5th place home behind Daniel Hernandez. James Butler, a bit of a quiet 6th place. Douglas DeGroat recovering to 7th place. And could be under investigation for the Dixon Hurst incident. I will kind of spoil it and say I've already done the security report and nothing was reported on the matter. It did look like a racing incident from what we could see here on the commentary. Yuri Nikolai bringing it home at 8th place. And Dixon Hurst will be in a good spot to possibly revenge things in race number 2. He'll start from the outside of row 1. That car a little bit damaged up after getting spun out, and pole position will belong to AJ Jesse. We'll see Toby Howard and Demetrius Simeonitis, who DNF race 1, will be on the track. Sadly, Javier Perez Torres and John Picha will not be joining us. Both of them have been taken out by the vagrancies of technical difficulties that plague sim racing.
Hemstrom got past Hernandez.
He did. He got through at the last S. Managed to get a
dogs are
great
killing
run.
me. I got to run one more time with interference. I missed all the good stuff.
Indeed. It was a very nice overtake. But good job by Hernandez staying calm and closing the door on Liam Curtin so he didn't lose a 2nd spot.
I have to go back and watch that.
Dixon Hurst will start from 2nd. The pole will belong to AJ Jesse. We're awaiting AJ Jesse and I believe Yuri Nikolai to join the grid. Of course, Yuri Nikolai, the danger man from the inside of row 2, always quite electric at the starts. Not necessarily in the safest manner. Not necessarily in the safest way. But we'll see what he can do. Douglas DeGroot, I believe, is my pick to do something here. Starting from P4, we know he's got pace.
He does solid out there, too.
So we'll see what he can do, if he can just have an error-free race here as we head down to turn 1. AJ Jesse retains the lead against Dixon Hurst. DeGroot is on the inside of Yuri Nikolai.
Little contact,
but nothing too bad. A little bit wide there, and Liam Curtin sneaks through into 4th place. And DeGroot shuts the door a little bit hard there on Curtin, and and that allows Yuri Nikolai to get a run.
Ooh, Douglas going on for second.
Douglas going for Dixon Hurst. Nice move. Dixon left the door open, and the Guyanese driver said, I'll take that. He's going for the lead.
What is happening?
He's taking the lead. A mistake by AJ Jesse. Pressure cracking at the front. Contact. Yuri Nikolai got in the back of Dixon Hurst. That was reviewed and was found to be a racing incident. Just nothing really Yuri could have done to avoid that contact.
The crew just putting a show on that one. That was unbelievable.
Indeed. Fantastic lap. I actually put it in the Academy coaching video as an example of a fantastic opening lap. Yuri Nikolai going down the inside of AJ Jesse. Does Jesse have the nerve to try to make this an issue? It doesn't look like he does. And the Dutchman is up into second place. Liam Curtin also through into third. And then AJ just having a bad day now. Daniel Hernandez is going for it. He senses weakness. There's blood in the water, and there's blood in the water, and there's a horde of sharks coming. Zach Hemstrom took Hernandez there, actually. Demetrius Simeonitis I caught in the background there off the track along with somebody else. Didn't identify whom. And here in the last turn, Curtin off! Contact maybe with Yuri Nikolai.
I can't miss this.
And Hemstrom up into third. AJ Jesse still fourth. Hernandez fifth. Sixth for Simpson. Seventh for Guerin. Eighth for Butler. Ninth for Howard. 10th for Simeonitis. Hernandez goes for it, but he is off the track, and that's going to give the spot right back to AJ Jesse and open up the door for Jack Simpson. Simpson smacks in there hard. Gets the job done. AJ Jesse slow off of the first corner, though. Bad entry into the S's, and that's going to allow Simpson to get through there. So Simpson up 2 spots into 4th place. Hernandez still on the tail. Guerin and Butler coming as well. Simeonitis is in shot there in 9th place. Curtin's 10th. Still on a bit of a recovery drive. Hernandez gets around the outside of AJ Jesse, and on the inside of turn 1, Rochelle Guerin gets the job done against AJ Jesse, dropping him back to 7th place. The pole sitter is going backwards. He is definitely a little bit out of place battling with these cars. James Butler suiting up for an inside run into turn 1. Looks like he thinks better of it and drops back into the slipstream. Probably a good call. Liam Curtin coming on against Dimitri Simeonitis. Could see two overtakes here in the very near future. Butler on Jesse and Curtin on Simeonitis. Curtin to the inside. In this race. Curtin to the inside, trying to get past Simeonitis. Butler trying to get past Jesse. And it looks like Curtin is successful. Butler is not. So Curtin up to 9th place. Next up on the list for Zach Hemstrom is Yuri Nikolai, who is still running in 2nd place. Jack Simpson blinking, so possibly a ping issue for him. Hopefully that subsides. On board with Liam Curtin through the final turn, trying to get past AJ Jesse, and James Butler! a wild James Butler appears.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he was trying to open up his exit there, but man, you can't leave any openings right now.
Yeah, you can't give James Butler that kind of opening. He smells that opening, he's going for it. Speaking of going for it, here's Zach Hemstrom battling with, that is Yuri Nikolai.
You're not going to let him have it too easily.
No.
Oh, he took a little too much corner there.
I'd probably say no foul on the play, but that could have ended real badly for both drivers.
Yeah, I mean, I know he's driving defensively and protecting his line. Just got to leave a little bit more space on that right-hander.
And Liam Curtin on the tail of Butler. AJ Jesse's dropped back to 10th place. I think he may have had a slight off. Demetrius Simeonitis now ahead of him. Toby Howard, Dixon Hurst rounding off the field. Not sure what happened to Dixon. He's at the back, though. Zach Hemstrom versus Yuri Nikolai.
Hemstrom got past him already.
I think he's on the inside of him, though. And I am correct. Spinning off Yuri Nikolai after a contact with Zach Hemstrom. That was reviewed. It was reported by Hemstrom and found to be a racing incident, to be honest. Yuri was not where he should have been. He was passed at the braking zone and tried to pull a late move. Actually, kind of similar to the incident we had at Hockenheim with Rochelle Guerin and James Butler. A similar case, the driver who was trying something slightly dangerous ended up paying the price. So Rochelle Guerin on the tail of Daniel Hernandez. Trying to... She's having a banner day, of course, because she's behind Javi Perez Torres in the standings, and Javi is going to get a big fat 0 here. So
that hurts.
Big opportunity for her to come up a few spots. James Butler looking to attack Yuri Nikolai yet. Yuri might be a little bit rattled, so this is a good time to put the pressure on. And at the front, well, not at the front, because Douglas DeGroat is at the front, and he is gone. He is gone.
Hey, take advantage of all that hard racing behind you and just get out of there.
That's what I said. He was definitely the danger man. He was starting P4, and all of his rivals were not at the front with him. And you know what? He did a great job of getting through on lap 1, and he's getting the dividends now.
Yeah, I mean, he could not have done a better job on that first lap. That was astonishing.
And I would like to say that my prediction. Yeah, I have seen the race, obviously. I knew he was going to do that, but I also called it at the time that he was going to be the danger man to go through and be a solid contender here in race 2. This is similar, actually, to what Rochelle Guerin did at Hockenheim, if you'll recall, where she had that really not particularly great race 1, started nice and high on the reverse grid, and just sped away. Douglas is kind of doing the same thing here.
Yeah, I've been in that position. It is all you can hope for that you can get through that first lap clean. You know that your opponents are a couple spots behind you.
Actually, to be honest, similar to Douglas's performance in his race win at Zandvoort, where he had a bad race 1, started nice and high on the reverse grid, and did something similar to this. I'd say this is more impressive because he cut through the pack really nicely on a track that doesn't have a lot of overtaking potential.
No, he was just putting passes on through the S's and everywhere. I don't think there was a corner that went by he wasn't making up ground.
Butler has gotten past Yuri Nikolai, but Yuri is not going away. And, of course, we know Butler is not strong down this straightaway, carrying that extra human, basically, in the car with him.
Yeah, Yuri, get behind and get the draft.
I think Butler is not letting him have that draft.
Who cares?
So, Zach Hemstrom... So what do you do if you're Zach here? You can't seem to... Oh, Butler retains the spot. You can't seem to really make up the ground like you want. I think that's a lap car. Toby is a little fucked up. So what do you do if you're Zach Hemstrom now? You're a man who has more experience leading a championship than me, which is to say you have it, and I don't. What is your game plan right here? Is it just to tuck in behind Simpson and ride it up to the podium, or do you really have desires on that second place?
Yeah, I mean, I would treat this basically the same as we were talking about in the first race. I wouldn't really be looking to force any. This is why I wouldn't try to force anything.
That's a little bit wide.
Right? I mean, you don't need... You 1 second, but you don't need second. So forcing it right here is just a little silly. I would much rather take the technique of just trying to, show the nose when you can to see if you can throw Simpson off his game a little bit and just create your own opening.
That would also be my technique as well.
But I certainly wouldn't want to just throw away third position. As somebody who just threw away third position a few days ago because he was watching a stop wheel drive away and literally lost concentration for 1 second and drove into the grass.
Indeed. So don't do what Paul says, not what Paul does.
Absolutely.
Oh, Yuri going down the inside. And
Sweet move.
I don't think Butler can come back with that extra ballast. I think this is a case where that move against this car is a great idea. But I think he's going too defensive into the corner, but it looks like he'll pick it up anyways.
I would have liked to have seen all that because he went super defensive, and then he looked like he was swinging way out to the actual racing line while Butler was there, so that was interesting.
It looked like he had clearance from Butler, so I think he was okay. Butler is not going away, though, and they're getting physical. And, Rochelle Guerin going down the inside of Hernandez. So that was where I was talking about Hernandez picking up somewhat of a blocking foul, was that I thought that not so much that was blocking by any means, because there was no penalty obviously associated with it. It was just, in my opinion, a bad idea. He was closing the door on a move that he just didn't have to close the door.
Yeah, I mean, I have to see the
where he gets
replay.
wet.
It's a tough call from, so quick. Like
So to kind of break it down, so Rochelle went down the inside of the last part of the S's, which turns into the outside for the final turn.
Mm-hmm.
So she basically forfeited the inside line on one of the best overtaking spots to Daniel Hernandez, and Hernandez shut the door, and it's like, dude, just take the inside line and retain the position. You don't have to risk contact.
Yeah, it totally makes sense. Could just be a little lack of knowledge, or you're just in the fight, and sometimes you're just not thinking it all through.
Absolutely, no.
Sounds like you're right.
It's a totally understandable moment. Just one that I think was a reasonable teaching moment for Hernandez, where probably the one time his defensive driving went to a place that it just should have probably avoided.
Overly defensive.
Exactly.
I see that often from guys, especially when you still have quite a few minutes of racing left, and you're just blocking everything to the point of just slowing down the laps. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't think he slowed down the lap, because I think he's posting decent laps at this point. Additionally, he doesn't... I mean, honestly, he's fighting for 4th place right now, and he's not going to catch the 3 guys ahead of him. So I would definitely be trying to keep this position for all it's worth. I just thought that it was contact. Anytime you're getting contact, you're running a risk of losing the car or having some kind of damage. And if you just don't need that contact, why do it?
Yeah, contact is bad. Especially, in these sims, it's so weird sometimes. The lightest tap can just throw you sideways.
Absolutely.
So I try and avoid contact at all costs.
Absolutely. Results-based thinking, it was a good idea by Hernandez, but I'm never a results-based thinking kind of guy when it comes to racing.
Now, that was a nice move. He got himself placed in between.
Well, that's a blue flag, in fairness.
Well, I know, I was saying that was smart driving.
Rochelle kind of forcing her way through on the blue flag. I can understand that, but probably a bit truculent.
Who was that in the blue flag?
That was AJ Jesse.
Tough position there.
Yeah, I said before the race, we've been emphasizing in the main series about blue flags, maintain your line and so on. I did emphasize that, unfortunately, just with the nature of this track, you're probably gonna have to give way more as a blue flagged car than you'd normally want to, and that we would normally encourage. I mean, the problem here is this track is really weird. A lot of regular rules just don't apply when you're on a track this short and with this little overtaking opportunity.
Agreed, but it is interesting to see how aggressive the drivers would get over being in the opposite position of the blue flag now. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Like, I wonder if that helps them in the GT3, GT4 multi-class understand why a GT3 may force itself through.
For sure. And Rochelle get Mr. Daniel Hernandez. Or will this come to terrible and Liam Curtin will pick up the 4th place? Because he's sitting right there.
Yeah, I've been watching him. He's closing.
Yori Nicola is still getting the better of James Butler. It just seems like James seems faster everywhere, except for that straightaway is just killing him. That start-finish straight.
That ballast
can't get it done.
the worst.
Yeah. This is a track where the ballast definitely hurts more than usual because there's so little opportunity to make that comeback. So there is Mr. Butler. They've gotten clear of AJ Jesse. And he's still in the shot of Yori Nikolai. And we know Yori... Don't take offense to this, Yori, but your driving can be a bit erratic. So... Oh! Liam Curtin gets past Rochelle Guerin. Looks like Rochelle either just made a mistake or maybe was trying to make an overtake on Hernandez that did not work. And Liam Curtin just tucked down the inside and said, thank you very much.
That is such a tough position to be in when you're in the middle looking for a way past, but you know that when you go for that, you're opening yourself up. It's talk about a game of chess.
I do have to say that having reviewed that particular part of the video, that was kind of a similar. We were talking about the contact between Hernandez and Guerin. That was almost the exact same move, and it almost kind of makes my point for me is that time Hernandez didn't close the door, and he just ended up easily defending the position anyways.
Right.
So that's kind of what I mean is like, think about that turn ahead, because there's times when a turn just isn't like I don't think you can go around the outside of that S. I think is what it comes down to, because you're just setting yourself up to get beaten on the switchback.
Well, maybe he learned from the first time through.
Indeed, it could be. So we do have a win for Douglas DeGroat from Jack Simpson, Zach Hemstrom, Daniel Hernandez, Liam Curtin, Rochelle Guerin, Yori Nikolai, 7th place ahead of James Butler, and Dixon Hurst is going to bring it home in 9th place. He is intact this time. Lost his front end in race 1 and has managed to avoid that in race 2. AJ Jesse will take 10th place and will once again start from pole, so he'll get a chance to try to do a little bit better this time. His car's a little messed up. His back end doesn't look right either. There you go. Fastest lap to Jack Simpson. The win to Douglas DeGroat, his 2nd of the season.
Congrats. Well earned.
Simeonitis out of the race, and credit to Toby Howard. He got her across the line despite being 4 laps down, so I imagine there was some significant damage there. All right, who you got for race number 3, sir? Anyone you think is in for a surprise? Anyone who's starting maybe high on the grid that you think can turn that into a success?
Pull it to see the grid. I need to see who's up here.
All right, so it's AJ Jesse on pole, Dixon Hurst, Butler and Nikolai on row 2. Row 3 will be Guerin and Curtin.
Okay.
Row 4 will be
I'm
Hurd.
going to say it's going to be one of those two.
All right, so Guerin and Curtin is your call.
I think Butler's handicapped at that ballast. He's just getting killed in the straight. Yuri, what'd you call him? The danger guy?
The danger guy.
The danger man. So I'm going to take him out. And no offense to AJ or Dixon, but I'm going to go with Rochelle.
Rochelle Guerin is the call. Here we go. Off the start we go here. Looks like AJ Jesse has maintained the lead, at least off the start. Dixon Hurst, everyone more or less in the same spot. Doesn't look like anyone's really made their move yet. Hemstrom's up in a couple spots. Oh, a little bit of contact there between DeGroot and... Or not DeGroot. Nikolai and Hurst. So Nikolai up in a 2nd. Liam Curtin doing an excellent job getting through. Oh, into the wall goes Nikolai and AJ Jesse.
Did not see that coming.
Dixon Hurst inherits the lead. Liam Curtin is in 2nd place.
I knew I should have gone with Liam. Rochelle, get up there.
James Butler, Zach Hemstrom, Rochelle Guerin's back in 5th.
There's going to be some carnage, though. You can tell at this point. This is race 3. Everybody is...
Demetrius Simeonitis is getting a little physical with Douglas DeGroat in the background. DeGroat winning out on that. Curtin's got the inside line. He's going for the lead. This is everybody back to 10th place, more or less together. AJ Jesse and Yori Nikolai have kind of eliminated themselves. Liam Curtin has got the lead, moving to the front of the pack ahead of Zach Hemstrom.
Up to 2nd for Hemstrom.
Oh, that was terrible for Dixon Hurst. He went into that corner in 1st place and is now 10th.
Hemstrom took the inside line. I think he boxed those two out.
Indeed. Liam Curtin to the front. Hemstrom 2nd. James Butler in 3rd with Rochelle Guerin 4th. Douglas DeGroat, our race 2 winner, is in 5th place. Demetrius Simeonitis, David Hernandez, Jack Simpson, Toby Howard, your top 9.
Okay, Rochelle needs to get past, that was a tough move right there, Butler before turn 1 because Curtin is starting to pull away. So Hemstrom and Rochelle need to stop fighting and just catch him.
Yeah, well, here's Rochelle. Going for it. Oh, I think she hears you.
She's looking, but
going for it. No, not enough. Not enough. Curtin's still there, so he hasn't gotten away yet. There is time.
Catching him quick.
Yeah. Well, Hemstrom's got that pace. Hemstrom and Simpson are the two, or by far the two fastest. Speaking of Simpson, he's up to 6th place behind Simeonitis. Simeonitis having a really good 3rd race here. Up in 5th place. And he started down in 11th, I believe. Or 12th.
Great for 3 laps.
Yeah, he started 12th and he's up to 5th. So he's doing a great job. Jack Simpson, Daniel Hernandez, Douglas DeGroat not having a great race. He's back in 8th.
He only cares about even races.
Looks like Yori Nikolai is out of the race, judging by the timing. And Simpson going for it against... That is Simeonitis. Down the inside. No, Guerin is still stuck behind Butler.
Oh, Butler was a little wide on the exit. Not wide enough.
She's got to be having flashbacks to race 2. She got stuck behind Hernandez for most of race 2, and now she's stuck behind Butler. Hemstrom on the charge against Liam Curtin. Liam, let me know which one it is. I can obviously go both ways.
So Rochelle needs to not worry about being so close to Butler through the S's, and this is where she needs to make sure she's lined up.
Indeed, get this last turn right, and then go down the start-finish straight.
And then get behind and don't pull out of that draft.
I think this was her problem in race 2 as well. She was going for the overtake on Hernandez in the wrong spot, but she's got to run now. Maybe came out of the stream a little bit too early. Let's see if she gets it done.
Whoa, I think she's taking them both out.
Yeah, Butler off the track.
Butler way out.
Butler off the track. He seems to be okay, but a little bit of a hairy moment there for the 2 drivers.
DeGroot.
Douglas DeGroot having a moment. Douglas, while we're focusing on him, Douglas is a little confusing to me. He's the kind of guy that, like, it seems like one incident derails his entire race. It's like he's the ultimate, like, kind of confidence driver, where just one thing going wrong seems to throw him off his game for, like, the rest of the race, it seems. Because he's had moments like we just saw, and then if you see, like, Hemstrom will go off, Hemstrom will come back through the grid. DeGroot just doesn't really. So, I don't know, it's a bit of an interesting phenomenon.
Yeah, I mean, it could be just a personality trait or a little experience, but it's, sometimes it's hard to just move on. But like you say, what Hemstrom does is just, okay, mistake made, get back to work.
Yeah, so maybe he needs to adapt a little bit of that into his personality, if he can. James Butler losing 4th place there to Jack Simpson. That's not terribly surprising. Simpson, probably the fastest car on the track against a ballasted car. Not the fairest fight in the world. Zach Hemstrom still in 2nd place. By the way, Hemstrom having a good day. Hasn't won a race. This would be the first round he hasn't won a race at, potentially. But if he can hold 3 podiums home with Javier scoring 0, it's going to give him a very commanding lead in the championship.
Yeah, that's a huge help. You see, notice the difference in lines that Hemstrom and Curtin took right there. Hemstrom used an extra 6 feet of track right there.
Oh, a little bit of bullying there by Simpson. That's a not super safe move. Indeed. Well, I would say the Academy drivers looking at Zach Hemstrom's line is a great task. He's a little bit different than Mike Stockmill. Of course, you can watch Zach's races on his YouTube channel. So he doesn't seem to stick with we'll call it the coaching recommended line too much, but he is finding every ounce of performance in that car and has been doing a fantastic job in these races.
Yeah, I mean, style-wise, sometimes you have to make, little changes. I try and follow Stockmill's lead all the time, and it doesn't work for me either. So.
Whoa, Hernandez and Butler, I think, had a little door bang there. And Jack Simpson fading in and out of existence once again. He did that in race 2 as well, so hopefully his internet holds up.
Yeah, we've got 7 to go.
Meanwhile, at the front, it's still Hemstrom tracking down Liam Curtin.
Curtin doing a great job.
Mm-hmm. He's held He's held Hemstrom away from doing a 54, so he is holding Hemstrom up. But he's doing it in a manner that, like, I can't find fault with. It's a fantastic defensive job. And he's not losing a tremendous amount of ground. You can see the gap back to Garen in third place. That's pretty much the biggest that gap's been.
Yeah, they're definitely pulling away from Rochelle. No question about it. Curtin's driving a good race, though. He's not... But he's not using all the track, because he's running, a little defensive, but he's doing it smartly, where he's not killing his exits either.
Absolutely. Butler has dropped a spot to Hernandez, down to 6th place.
It looks like he gaps Hemstrom through that final section of the S's in every lap. And then this starts over on his run down to turn 1. I wonder what happens there.
Maybe a slight error that Hemstrom is making, that he's not fully aware of. I don't have a better explanation.
Oh, somebody...
That's that's Daniel Hernandez. So Hernandez has headbutted something, and that's going to cost him a top 5 result. Because I cannot imagine that he's going to be able to get that damaged car back ahead of Butler.
It looks like he's barely able to move it at all.
Indeed. These cars are pretty robust though. I wouldn't be surprised if he's able to drag it to the end, because we've only got 9 cars running, which means everybody is going to score if they just finish. As we have lost Douglas DeGroat, AJ Jesse, and Yori Nikolai from this race.
I wonder how much of that grass and corner you can cut there.
A lot.
The lap.
A lot is the answer. We had a debate in race 2 about an overtake that was 4 wheels off the track and whether it was legal, and I looked it up, and the lap was legal. Like, it lets you get away with a lot.
It's interesting. These race room has a few tracks with some really strange track limits.
Well, I mean, the weirdest remains Mid-Ohio's pit entrance, where the limits don't line up with the white lines in any way, which is great.
It looked like there were some issues at Indy as well during the multi-class, I think, with the pit lines.
Well, Indy, I think the problem is always you have that apron there, and it's like, what of that apron are you allowed to use, and what of that apron do you have to use, sort of thing. So I think that's always been a problem.
Zach taking advantage of the generous track limits.
Indeed. He's on him. I mean, you might just have to if you want. Again, we're back to that whole thing with Hemstrom, though, that he's such dominant in the championship that do you just take the 2nd place?
No.
If Curtin doesn't make a mistake.
He's not going to.
Oh, I know he's not going to. He's going for it. He did. This would be the first round that he's not won a race at if he can't get by Curtin.
I mean, I'm going to agree with you. 100%. The smart move here is to just sit behind Curtin, see if he makes a mistake. If he doesn't, you take 2nd and a boatload of points. But that's definitely not what he's thinking.
No, he's not. The body language of that car is a shark on the attack.
Yeah, it's sliding all over the place. I think, if anything, he's putting himself into a little bit of danger here because he's getting to the point of overdriving the car.
I think there's a little overdrive going on, but I mean, if he can hang on to it and not lose it, he's got a very solid gap back to Garen, and Garen's got problems of her own because Jack Simpson's on her tail. Looking inside, looking outside. I don't know about this.
Curtin's driving absolutely spectacular right now.
Indeed, fantastic defensive driving display by Liam Curtin. He's keeping the pace up. Like I said, it would be very easy for like a 3rd car to latch onto the back of this, and it's not happened. He's keeping the pace up high enough while defending position and just leaving absolutely no opportunity for Hemstrom to get around him.
Exactly what I was talking about earlier.
Hemstrom with the shove, but here's the thing. This is the move we were talking about in race 2. It gives the inside line on the final turn. And I think Curtin gets it back.
Wow.
That was again, I was talking about that with like the Garen versus Hernandez feud, where I just don't think that that's an advisable move.
Yeah. I mean, that was really good driving on Curtin to stay cool through there.
Oh, absolutely.
Hemstrom definitely forced his way in.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of what I mean. Is it's not that you can't get around at that spot. You absolutely. I mean, Zach just proved it. You can overtake there. But you're giving the car you're fighting with the preferred defensive line into the last corner, and I just don't know if I can agree with that. A little wide there by Curtin. That's going to open the door back. 2 minutes and change to go here, so probably 3 laps of this race to go.
I'm sure Curtin's not happy about that.
They are coming up to the lapped car of Toby Howard. Toby getting out of the way dutifully. Good work, Toby. Now just tuck in. Get the slipstream.
Yeah, get on there, Toby.
Yeah, a little bit late. A little bit late getting back in the slipstream. I don't know. Maybe thought Rochelle was closer to those two, maybe, and then he had a third car to let through, perhaps. But consider it. But think about your own race a little bit as well, guys.
But you know Toby. He wants to make sure he's not interfering in anybody's race.
Mm-hmm. Hamstrom's still going for it. He is absolutely bit in the teeth right now.
Oh, yeah.
Wants that win. I do have to say it. That's if there's one thing he probably needs to learn, though, it is that sometimes driving like this is not the right idea.
Well, you know, the other interesting theory, though, is even if he does throw it away, he still had 2 races to Javi's zeros.
True,
right?
True.
So there is a little bit of a reasonable gamble going on here. Just for, you know, I mean, the points are not going to make any difference between first and second here, but it's just for his own desire to win.
Of course. He's on him again, but Curtin is doing a fantastic defensive job here.
Agreed.
All right, if I'm Zach, I'm setting up for you got to set up for the last corner. You can't think about the overtake here in the S's. It's got to be on that last corner.
I think he's going to go into turn 1.
Or turn 1. Turn 1 is also perfectly a good idea as well. It's 1 or the last one. I just don't think you're getting past Curtin in the S's.
No, I mean, he's pushed wide once or twice, but he's recovering very well. He better get a little more defensive.
And he's not even going to get a chance as the timer expires.
Oh, man.
Liam Curtin holds off Zach Hemstrom to win. Rochelle Guerin gets her second podium. Jack Simpson, James Butler, Daniel Hernandez. Well, Hernandez hasn't finished yet. He has a damaged car, so I'm not going to call him for 6 yet. There he is. Hernandez driving the car that won the championship last semester in 6th place. And here comes Dixon Hurst with a 7th. Good run for him.
Absolutely.
And Demetrius Simeonitis, I mean, this is a victory for him just because he DNF'd race 1 and 2. Picks up a clean race here. 8th place. That'll open up his point scoring total for the season.
Nice job.
And Toby Howard will get 2 points for 9th place as well.
Awesome racing by Curtin. That was great stuff.
Indeed, I've been really happy with the level of racing that we've been seeing in the Academy lately. It's getting better and better, and that's what we want.
Yeah, I think the last 2 that I've joined you with have been really good stuff. The racing's getting clean and hard, and a lot of good moves I'm seeing.
Mm-hmm.
Doing a good job with these guys.
Welcome to the grid, AJ, Jesse, and Jack Simpson. Although Jack Simpson, you might be in for some ballast. I'm just gonna throw that out there right now. We might need to put Byron in your trunk.
That's a lot of ballast. Come on.
All right, championship rundown. Zach Hemstrom leads the way with 207 points. Rochelle Guerin's up to second on 161, so that is a 46-point lead for Hemstrom at the top of the pile. Javier Perez Torres still third on 127, despite the big 0 goose egg here today. James Butler, 112. Daniel Hernandez, 82. John Picha, despite his 0, still 6th place on 76 points, ahead of Douglas DeGroat, 74. Gustav Ekstrom, who is absent today, in 8th with 59. 57 for Jack Simpson. and 46 for Liam Curtin, who earns himself the race victory. Next stop will be the other half of the Suzuka track, or, well, more than half, the western course at Suzuka. And then it's off to Laguna Seca to officially make it to the halfway mark of the Academy season. Do you have any words of encouragement, advice, and so on for the racers, Paul?
Not too much. I mean, I was really impressed with what we saw here just now. Good stuff, honestly. I think whatever coaching you're doing with them, it's definitely helping. Things have gotten a lot cleaner with the passes. I know that pace seems to be getting pretty solid through the whole grid as well. So I just think it's great stuff.
Indeed. So 2 weeks' time, we'll be at Suzuka West. Coming up on the ESR calendar, we've got ACC action this weekend from Hungaroring, 2 sprint races, which I may be competing in because my ACC protege Ziggy is, in a word, struggling with the track.
Uh-oh.
Well, let's put it this way. People are doing like 147s in practice. He's currently, his best lap is a 152. So, work to be done.
That is definitely some struggle.
Indeed. He's coming off actually a really good run at Brands Hatch, so it's a shame that he's not able to keep the momentum up. Actually was fighting with Wayne Hutchinson at the Brands Hatch Enduro over 7th place.
Wayne's a great racer.
Mm-hmm.
That's very good.
Indeed. So hopefully Ziggy can find some pace, and we'll do that. We've got the, I want to say Formula USA this Saturday. I'm gonna hang on. I'm pulling up the on tap here because, I keep telling people to use the Discord stuff. I should really do that myself. We got R Factor action BTCCs from Thruxton. We've got the Formula 91 series coming to you on Thursday from Montreal GP. And we have, the Formula USA team event from Laguna Seca this Saturday. That's going to be entertaining. I don't know about fun, but entertaining.
Entertaining is a good word.
All right, till next time, we'll see you guys later. And remember to check out the ESR Discord for our various series. We have, at this point, actually, we have almost a series a night, which is both awesome and somewhat overloading at times. But there is room for everyone. Have a good night, everybody.
Yep.
Or whatever your connotation of the day is.